What's up, internet? It's your dumbass Panicos Gaming. Let's breed some more eggs. Oh, I need to remember to actually have my counter on top. Yeah, because of the way that I made this counter, I made it very lazily, and so it has to actually be like the in focus window. I have noticed that actually this, I do need to get a better webcam. The amount of like blur when I do stuff is like, yeah, not great. Like, it's fine for my normal, like, you know, just being a face cam, but it's not working nearly as well for other stuff. Which, granted, like, it's good enough for now, but I will eventually have to upgrade it. I wish when you drop the resolution that it would, bump the frame rate. But I suspect the 30 frames per second is a, like, physical limitation of this webcam. This is a really old webcam, too. This webcam's from, like, 2014? Probably 15, actually. Yeah. But see, I mean, it's like 7 years old, which, like, for some stuff isn't very old. For anything like computer and electronics, that's ancient. Alright, glad we got those eggs fast. I'm sure now saying that, I have cursed it once again. Oh, so, just a little update regarding Suicune. Never again. I don't want to, even off stream, I don't think I can ever do Dynamax Adventures again. I am so sick of that fucking mode. I don't mind difficulty. What I mind is when you have literally zero control over what's happening. Because between the randomized, you know, starting Pokemon and the randomized routes, and then the AI being completely worthless, it's like you maybe affect like 10% of the outcome. Realistically, whether or not you succeed is decided like when you press start for Dynamax Adventures. So I'm so over it. I don't mind, well, I do mind shiny hunts that take a while. I'm also kind of tired of Registeel, but that's just kind of like tired, you know? Whereas the Suicune or anything Dynamax Adventures is just like, what? Like, I just don't understand how they made that mode so fucking bad. I don't fucking understand. Like, you have to actively have tried to make it that bad, because some of the decisions that the AI makes, because it's not completely random either. Like, there is some shit where the AI will absolutely prioritize some things, like always trying to set terrain, except for like the one occasion where you do want it to set terrain and then it never will. I just can't do that mode anymore. So I'm not even going to worry about getting shiny legendaries anymore. I mean, eventually I will have to, but hopefully Gen 9 will have something that is, frankly, literally anything but Dynamax Adventures. I think I'd be willing to try just about any mechanic. It's like, it's not even like it's, you know, it's not necessarily broken, and it's not necessarily even hard. Like, other than a couple of examples, the final boss Pokemon usually isn't very difficult. It's just the entire design of it is so fucking bad. So yeah, because like today, So last time I tried to stream Suicune, I did, what, 3 attempts, and then I just said fuck this and turned off the stream. And that was 3 attempts without even, like, defeating Suicune. Then the next day, I did, like, another 4 attempts without even defeating it. Then finally beat it, like, 5 times in a row. And then today, I failed, like, 6 times in a row before catching it once. I was just like, why is this a thing? And again, it's not like a matter of like, oh, it's difficult, and like, you know, I'm not good at strategy, which I'm not, but like everything about that, you don't have any real control. It is a mode that requires, for any sort of consistency with completion, it requires all 4 teammates to be cooperating and not being not even cooperating. I shouldn't even say that much. That's like the most infuriating part of it. It doesn't require cooperation. It just requires the slightest little semblance of intelligence. And somehow, like, it makes no sense. And the thing is, even with that, it still doesn't matter, because sometimes you will have runs where it's just, no, like, it's as soon as you press start, you might as well just start knocking out your teammates, because you're not going to complete it. The number of times where I've seen it where there won't be a single Pokemon that's super effective against the final boss. And it's just like, why is this a thing? So yeah, no more Dynamax Adventures. I'm probably going to remove that playlist for my YouTube channel as well, because I'm over it. There's plenty of other shit for me to do too. And again, hopefully we get something in Gen 9. I don't even mind trying, like, you know, if there's Dynamax Adventures or some equivalent, you know, I guess it won't be Dynamax, but, you know, some, like, multi-stage raid against an AI kind of boss Pokemon. Like, I'd be willing to try that again, but never again in Sword and Shield. It has to be at least just anything else. I might not even, you know, if it's still shit, then I'm still not going to do it, but I don't know. I cannot overstate how not enjoyable I have pretty much always found Dynamax Adventures. Like, this isn't a new thing. Pretty early on, I came to the conclusion that they're actually fucking garbage. And, like, I know that a lot of people like them, and part of that is, like, you know, if you play with other people, it's fine, but first of all, even a incredibly shitty game can be fun with other people, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. And also, that doesn't change the fact that in single player, it's just complete fucking garbage. Like, even besides the first point that just, like, you know, playing with your friends can make anything or can make most things enjoyable. I won't say anything, but, like, just everything about it is just so fucking terrible. And I don't understand why some people, like, were so thrilled with Crown Tundra. I understand that I'm in the minority on this, but I think Crown Tundra is absolutely the worst of the 2 DLC. Because it didn't really do anything new that Isle of Armor didn't do, other than Dynamax Adventures, and again, Dynamax Adventures aren't good, so... yeah, I just... like, I understand that Isle of Armor wasn't necessarily some incredible piece of gaming history, or whatever the fuck, you know, however you want to describe it. It wasn't great. But, like, I don't even think most of Crown Tundra is bad, even. I think, like, the story to it is fun. I don't mind that. But just, like, it just feels inferior to Isle of Armor. Like, I don't like the region that it's in as much. I feel like the story is not nearly as involved. In fact, not even feel, it just straight up isn't. Like, I know I'm complaining about not enough story in a Pokemon game, but, like, literally it's just like, hey, here's this dude. Hey, here's Calyrex. Go do, like, these 3 tasks, and then, okay, you have to Calyrex. I don't know why. Like, I get that Isle of Armor isn't much better, but it feels significantly better. Because it feels like there's actually story to it. I don't know why the Crown Tundra just feels like, just go do these tasks. And it's like 3 tasks. But anyways. So yeah, no more Dynamax Adventures, plenty more breeding. Which is also part of why I even started to do Dynamax Adventures. I was actually gonna start breeding something that's a Galarian form. Probably Ponyta, to be honest, but I hadn't really decided yet. But then, actually, well, I guess I was gonna do Ponyta. I've kind of changed my mind since earlier today. But yeah, I went to go do it, and then I realized that, oh right, I took out my Ditto that I was using for breeding, because I moved it over to this game. It's actually the Ditto that's in the daycare right now. But yeah, so I did that, and I never, like, moved another Ditto into Sword. And I was already, like, it was, you know, I was at my job, but, like, before I was gonna clock in. So, you know, I had a few minutes, so I was gonna mess with it, but, like, I didn't feel like messing around with connecting to the Wi-Fi or anything, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll do some Dynamax Adventures, and then I did that, and it was, awful. And so, that I said, fuck that, I went and, shiny hunted Cobalion for a little bit. Which I'm not really too worried about doing that. Honestly, I probably won't do that hunt again for a while. Not because I'm frustrated with it, just because I want to focus on other things. It's very different from how I feel about D-Max Adventures. Where am I at? 3? Oh, is that 4? Cool. Last one. But yeah, but yeah, so I'm going to be doing... I think I have decided that, at the very least, I want to try and get all of the, Galarian forms of Pokemon. So, like, you know, Galarian Ponyta and Zigzagoon, stuff like that. I want to try and get all of those. And then we'll work on the other ones, the new Pokemon in Gen 8. So everything from, like, Garuki up through... I think it's Dragapult or whatever the hell. The, like, Ghost Dragon pseudo-legendary. We'll work on, like, everything up till that. Including that. Because, like, the legendaries, since they're all shiny locked, it doesn't really matter. There's no way to get them. Same with how, like, I got every brand new Pokemon shiny in Legends Arceus, but, like, technically there's an asterisk there because you can't get an Amorous shiny. Yeah, I do hope that there is some way to shiny hunt the legendaries in Gen 9. I mean, you can shiny hunt the legendaries in this, but, like, Well, one, I went and caught them, but that's because I don't want to do any more full odds hunts. Certainly not until I at least finish Registeel. And also, maybe I should say, I don't want to do any more full odds hunts than I have to. I guess, to be fair, if I'm going to abandon getting legendaries in Sword and Shield, then it's not really a big issue. If I don't, like, get Shaman or Arceus or Darkrai shiny in this. Though I do feel like those are less likely to show up in the future. Outside of, like, events, because they are, you know, event mythics. But also, like, I can just always be picking at those slowly in this game. Just, like, when I'm not streaming. Which, like, is not as bad. Like, I'll even say, like, failing in Dynamax adventures is better off-stream than on-stream. Because it just sucks to be on-stream and not making any progress for, like, 2.5 hours. I know I have eggs, so I just want to double check. Okay. Yeah, I wanna get all of the Gen 8 Pokemon. I wanna get all those shiny. Ideally before the new game drops again. I don't think I'm going to. Unfortunately, I think including Galarian forms, I have like 80 Pokemon or something that I would need to hunt. And like, yeah, no, that's just not gonna happen. 80 shiny Pokemon in, not including, like, Legends Arceus, maybe let's clarify that. But getting 80 shiny Pokemon in like 5 months is just not a thing. I mean, I guess it can be a thing, but I don't have enough time to make that a thing. I do not have enough free time. But I should be able to at least get all of the Galarian forms, and then we'll work on Gen 8 further. Actually, probably once Gen 9 comes out, I'll probably just, like, focus purely on that and try and get all the new Pokemon in that shiny. And then we'll worry about other stuff. Because I'm kind of thinking, like, let's say, assuming I don't get all the Gen 8 Pokemon just yet, but, like, in order of priority, I'll work on the Gen 9 Pokemon and then Gen 8 after that. And then I kind of feel like I want to do Gen 1 and then Gen 4. Just because, like, since we've gotten a Gen 1 remake with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and a Gen 4 remake with this game, I feel like, you know, the other gens I'm not as concerned with. Because they just be like, oh yeah, well, I mean, I got all the new Pokemon from these gens that were, you know, on the Switch. I know it kind of doesn't work as well with this one, because this is gens 1 through 4, but I mean, I guess so is, you know, Sword and Shield is multiple generations of Pokemon as well. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel I like the idea of focusing on, like, each gen kind of in order. But also, like, so say for instance, when I do Gen 1, I'll, you know, like, I'll get Porygon, and I'll get Porygon 2, and I'll get Porygon Z. Even though they're not necessarily from the same generation. But, like, that's fine. I'm not, you know. Eventually, I want to have every Pokemon shiny. So if I'm already working on breeding something, then I might as well keep doing it till I have all the ones that I need. So like when I'm breeding, when I'm focusing on just like the Galarian forms of Pokemon, like Galarian Zigzagoon, even though Obstagoon isn't like technically a Galarian form, but I'll do that one when it's when like after I do the other two, the Zigzagoon and the Linoon. Because, like, you know, you might as well. But yeah, my goal will be, like, kind of long-term, or, like, semi-long-term, because, again, long-term is get all the Pokemon shiny. But my goal is going to be, in Gen 9, to get all of the, brand new Gen 9 Pokemon before Gen 10 comes out. Which is, like, obviously, you know, there's not even, like, a whisper of Gen 10 yet. But just, like, just get all of those done, and then I can go back to working on other stuff. Just so that way I can feel like I'm not, falling behind at all. Because, like, if I get all the, you know, new Pokemon as they come out, kind of like what I did with Legends Arceus, then it's like, well... it's just like, you know, you're keeping up with the new Pokemon at least. And if you know, like I did with Legends Arceus, getting like stuff outside of just the brand new Pokemon, it means I'm also kind of catching up as well. But yeah, speaking of Legends Arceus, we'll definitely be doing another hunt in that. I think I will kind of want to, well, hopefully I like, now that I'm not looking for like a couple of specific Pokemon, I'm gonna enjoy, Massive Mass Outbreaks a lot more. Because like I did enjoy them, like the second day or whatever that I did them. I guess kind of first, I don't know, whatever day it was that I like wasn't specifically looking for the starters yet. Or I was looking for them, but I wasn't only doing those. So we'll pull back up the window capture for GIMP, and we'll just, you know, mark off the stuff that I don't care about at all, and we'll check other things. I'm kind of tempted to almost just be like, fuck it, let's just check the first 4, unless it's like a skittish Pokemon. But we'll see what happens. That might be what I do, just to save myself a little bit of frustration. Also, I do still need to continue my second playthrough of Legends Arceus, because it's I'm gonna have to get that alternate form of Namorous, so... Which also reminds me, I need to figure out how I want to lay out my, whatchamacallits, my alternate forms in Pokemon Home. What I am kind of thinking of is, because in, my Pokemon Shield save, where, it's been a while since I've done this, but occasionally I'll just hunt for, like, perfect IV Dittos. But I have a ton of spare Dittos from that. So what I can do is I can just rename them to whatever the Pokemon is supposed to be, so that way I can, like, lay out how I want to do all the alternate forms. And then... yeah, just, you know... just use Dittos as, like, placeholders. And then... as we get them, we can replace them. Oh, and that reminds me, because thinking of the alternate forms got me thinking of Deerling and Sawsbuck. I don't know if I ever actually transferred my Purified Suicune. In fact, I know I didn't transfer that thing over from Pokemon Go, because I finally finished with that. I finally, like, Because it was a Shadow Suicune. Obviously, if you play Pokemon Go at all, you probably know how the Shadow and Purified Pokemon stuff works. But yeah, I finally purified it, and then swapped over to Deerling. I re-evolved that Deerling actually to Sawsbuck, which was nice. Because I have all of the Deerling, and I should have 3 of the 4 Sawsbuck. I don't know what I'm going to do about the 4th one, because I think it's a Spring Form Sawsbuck that I need. Also, I don't understand how I didn't see a single Deerling throughout all of Spring, despite the fact that I open up the game every single day. So that was a little weird. I assume it had something to do with the Alola content, but like, you know, just leave that in the fucking spawn table, please. Maybe it was and I just got really unlucky or something. But I don't know, probably what I'll do is actually going back to Ditto. I'll just put up a foreign Ditto and ask for like a Spring Form Sawsbuck in return. And hopefully that gets some hits. But yeah, I do want to try and have a lot of the alternate forms. I mean, something like Deoxys, there's just no way for me to really do that. Unless like 3 more people want to send me Deoxys. Deoxy? I don't know how they pluralize that, but yeah, I mean, short of that, like, there's just, you know, or like another event or something like that. But we'll see. I really hate how my hair doesn't like stay behind me, because it'll like press up against the chair a little bit and then it gets like pushed up onto my shoulder. That's why I'm like constantly having to like fix my hair, because it's just like, it just bothers me having it off to the sides like that. Like, I don't really take care of my hair at all. I do a really bad job of it at the very least. But like, I still like don't want it to look really stupid. Which I know is weird and dumb, but whatever. But yeah, I want to, yeah. So, other than Deoxys, I feel like most of the alternate forms I can get. I probably won't do those shiny either. I did get the other form of Basculegion is shiny. So I do have that in there. Thanks to Jed for that. But it's... Which also, that reminds me, I need to organize everything that I want to like trade over to them next time we trade. But yeah, most stuff I can get alternate forms for. And I have the 2 like that I care most about with Alcremie and Unknown. Although I do need to do a Vivillon as well. Some of those, that's the thing though, some of those, or like 2 of those forms I think are event only, which really blows. But who knows, maybe we'll see it in Gen 9. I mean, being that in theory, the Gen 9 region should be right next to the Gen 6 region. Because, you know, Kalos is France and the new games are going to take place in the Spanish Peninsula. I forget what... I know there's another term for it. Iberia or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's Spain and Portugal, I guess. I do have eggs, right? I like always have to double check that, because I'll like... Once you do it a lot, it's like, okay, am I like going crazy, or is this just taking a while? But yeah, I got like my main 2. I think Vivillon will be its own box as well, like Unknown and Alcremie. Also, I do have, I wonder if I can log in, or if I can, I really need to find my charger for my 3DS, so I can try and re-download the... No, I don't really want to mess with that. I was going to say, I need to find my 3D, or I know where my 3DS is, but I need to find the charger so I can re-download, I think I had Pokemon Y, And then, because, I mean, that's where I can get Pavilion. And then just, keep changing the region on it until I have, all the Pavilion forms. Or I can just trade for it, honestly. Oh, you know what I could do? If I have, extra Alcremie, items, which I think I do, I can evolve those and then send those onto the GTS and offer them in return for pavilions. That could work. And again, like Foreign Ditto is a good one. I would say Unknown, but the thing is with Unknown that it's a lot easier to get currently as opposed to Pavilion or even Alcremie, just because of Legends Arceus. I mean, it's actually extremely easy, because if you complete that, I don't even know if it's actually like a side quest, but if you go collect all the Unknown, because they are basically like a collectible in that game, then, it's super easy to get them. So those aren't going to be as valuable, but I guess if I have extra, Alpha Unknown, which is another thing I need to do is, I guess this would be a good thing to focus on when I do my, my Legends Arceus Shiny Hunt next week, is, I need to work on getting all the Unknown forms as Alpha. I'm not going to get them all shiny. I don't hate myself enough for that. But, to be fair, it wouldn't be that bad, actually. That could be pretty bad. I'm, like, thinking more about it now. It's like, well, actually, I mean, I have to remember how not happy I was at the end of hunting for, Cyndaquil and Rowlet, and Rowlet wasn't... I got Rowlet quick. But Cyndaquil and, Oshawott kind of broke me in Legends Arceus. But, yeah, no, I'm not gonna get all the Unknown forms shiny. I would probably no, I would probably get the Unknown form shiny before, the Alcremie form shiny. Just because the, Unknown forms... I mean, it's just gonna be easier to get a lot of shinies. But the thing with Alcremie is, because all of the, Alcremie shiny always looks the same except for the sweet changes on it. So, it's almost like the shiny is just another flavor. So I think you only need 8 shiny Alcremie to have, like, all of the shiny forms. Because it's, again, technically, like, you can get all the flavors, but they're all going to look exactly the same. Again, it's just the sweet on them that changes. So, like, the star sweet or the ribbon sweet or that stuff. So there's no point in hunting all, like, what was it, like 63 Alcremie or some shit like that. I am so glad I did that, though. I'm so glad that event came back around, because I was, like, a little, not upset, but just, like, kind of sad that I didn't, because I didn't think I was going to be able to get those. Because, like, even if I bred for a shiny Alcremie, because I didn't have all the sweets that I needed to get all of the different forms, it was like, well, I guess I can't do this, because some of those sweets are, like, they aren't found regularly in the game at all. They were kind of added, or there was a way kind of added with Cramormatic, but, like, the odds of getting them is extremely low. And so I just kind of didn't care. But since that event came back around, I got them all, and I'm happy about that. And that is kind of one of the things that pushed me more into getting more of the alternate forms as well, because I knew that was going to be a bit of a hang-up. And, like, at the end of the day, not getting all the Deoxys kind of sucks, but also, like, it's a mythic. I'm not, again, let me actually pull up, because I'm going to say, like how I have some not legit, mythics in my so-called living dex. But it's just, it's exclusively stuff that I just cannot get currently. Or I haven't been able to get since I've been back into Pokemon. So I don't need Kyogre. Got a legit Kyogre. So yeah, I'm missing Genesect, Diancie, Volcanion, and Marshadow. Everything else I have legit versions of. And those, there's just been no way as of yet to get shiny. Or not even get shiny, but to get at all in any Switch game. At least for me. I think potentially Diancie and Volcanion were events or codes or something in Japan, but I don't live in Japan, so I don't even know if those codes would have worked. But yeah, I never saw them like pop up on or I never saw the codes pop up on Cerebi, so I assume that I couldn't have used them. But yeah, I need to figure out also something to do with my all my event Pokemon, because like honestly most of them don't fucking matter. Like, well, like some of them aren't even actually like proper event Pokemon. Like the stuff that I got through the DNS hack in Gen 5 is like, or DNS exploit I guess is the more proper term. But like that stuff is like it's like kinda legit because it was, spawned in the game, but also like it was spawned in the game by very much abusing a mechanic, and then also on top of that, like it's a mechanic that is only partially part of the game, because like you do have to mess with DNS settings. Maybe it was all messing with the settings in the game, but it's like it's a third-party server that does it. Like it's not exactly the same as just like, oh yeah, there's an exploit in the game. Like there is more to it than that. So those do kind of feel weird. Plus I have like I think I have a bunch of above the Pikachu that you get for free just by like opening up Pokemon Home. Because I saved a couple of those, and then because I would get, more through trading, but then I've noticed I've gotten probably like 100 of them through trading at this point, through just the GTS, and it's like, okay, well, I don't need those. Like, they're clearly not going to be worth anything. But then some of them that were like event distributions in Sword and Shield, I held on to, or I got multiples of some of those, because I would open up the game with Sword, and then I would open up the game, or I would open up Shield as well. And so I would get 2 of each event Pokemon. But again, like, I don't know what worth those are going to have. Like, they're going to be worth more than, the Pikachu. Or I think a Rotom is another one as well that you get for free in Pokemon Home, along with, like, some of the starters and stuff. But, like, it's, it'll be worth more than those, but, like, does anyone even care? Other than, like, the Fungus. Or, sorry, not Fungus, Amoonguss. Because that's how I got my shiny Amoonguss, that was actually an event. Because it was, like, some, I want to say it was, like, the Korean Pokemon champion or whatever. They had an Amoonguss on their team that was shiny, and so it has all, like, the same stats and stuff as the like, championship one, but it's, like, that one might be worth something. I think I only got one of those, though. I don't know why. I think that one was actually a code, so maybe I tried to get 2 of them, but it wouldn't let me, because it went, no, this is still the same profile, it's just, different copy of the game. I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, like, if it's not shiny, it's probably not worth much. And even if it is shiny, it's probably still not worth much because it was given out for free. Like how I gave Jed my spare shiny Celebi because it was just an event Pokemon, so I didn't care about it. And, you know, again, it was a spare. But, yeah, I don't know. I need to go through that stuff and just, like, start organizing a little bit. I would like to have my Pokemon home kind of, like, fully organized before, Scarlet and Violet drop. And that means, like, having the placeholders for the alternate forms, cleaning up the event Pokemon some more, just having, you know, make sure everything in there's organized. I'll probably still have some stuff that I'm still going to be trading, but, like, that's fine. Which reminds me, I didn't, damn it. I forgot to check my, my Wonder Box trades before, the stream. Oh, I did get another shiny Shinx last night from that. That was nice. I'm also not 100% convinced that it's legit, but also it's not perfect because it doesn't necessarily have a good nature. It just has a neutral nature, but all of the IVs are perfect, and the yeah, I don't know. It just seems weird. Like, I don't know why you would spawn in a perfect level 1 Shinx without a correct nature for it. Instead of, like, you know, if you're gonna do that, just, like, hack in a Luxray at level 100 and do that, you know? I don't know. It's just... But also, like, the fact that it's shiny and has perfect stats other than the nature, and, you know, it isn't level 100, but also, like, it's level 1, which I feel like would be the other one to default to, especially if you're trying to make it look legit. And the other thing is, it isn't from Legends Arceus or Pokemon Go, because that's how I got, you know, all my shiny Shinx forms, or that evolution line for it, I guess I should say, not forms. But I got that from Pokemon Go, an event in Pokemon Go. But it's like the new one that I got isn't from Pokemon Go, and then it wasn't from Legends Arceus, which would be like the other easiest way to get it. So I don't know. It's like it's just weird. But also the other thing is, it doesn't even matter to me because I already have the others, and also it's not even like something that I could trade to Jed. So, I mean, like, seriously though, because like I'm sure he has a few shiny Shinx. I would have to imagine he has a couple of those, thanks to Legends Arceus. So, like, I don't know. And because of Legends Arceus and Pokemon Go, so those things are just like worth nothing at this point. Oh, there was a hair. I couldn't tell if that was a hair or that was the shadow of the light coming off of the wire for the headphones. That's another thing that is, like, I need to probably get before a new webcam even, is I need headphones that are, like, actually decent. These are supposed to be wireless headphones, but they have a headphone jack on them. So, like, that's why I use them. But I need that. I need a microphone arm, so that way I don't have to put it on a box and I can hopefully sit a little bit more comfortably in my streams. And then I need a keyboard. The keyboard I'm using was well, it says HP on it, which should tell you about all you need to know. It was a, you know, pack-in with some rebuilt PC from probably a decade and a half ago at least. And it works fine. It needs to be cleaned really badly, but, like, it works fine. And I guess I do somewhere. I have my old Razer keeper. Was it Razer? Might have been Razer. I forget. I think it was, because I think I bought, like, a bunch of Razer stuff all at the same time. In fact, no, I know I did, because I bought headphones and a mouse and a keyboard. Because they were all supposed to have, yeah, they were all supposed to have RGB. And then, yeah, the keyboard, well, the headphones died, which, whatever. I don't necessarily expect much from Razer. And then the mouse was fine, but the side pad on it had gotten, really worn down. And, I think it was a, was it a big, yeah, it was a 20 key mouse as well. So it was, supposed to be for MMOs, which was fine, but that's just, I can, in theory, I could use something like that for video editing and stuff like that, but I just don't use those buttons enough. I never got comfortable enough hitting the buttons blind that some of them I got comfortable, right? But some of the buttons are so tiny, especially stuff in the middle. Also, it wasn't a 20 key. Let me take that back. It was 12. 20 would be insane. But yeah, so I just never really cared about it. So I have a Logitech mouse now. I forget. I think I might actually say the model number. Yeah, the G703, which I like it. It works well enough. I wish it had wireless charging, but also I'd probably still forget to put it on the wireless charger anyways. But that would be nice. But I mean, other than that, I've enjoyed it so far. It only has 2 side buttons, but I barely even use those. So, in fact, I don't even use those at all. I would kind of rather just have a normal mouse at this point. Just no side buttons or anything. Just high quality. But honestly, this same design, but just without the side buttons would probably be just fine. Hell, I would actually, maybe even before getting rid of the side buttons, I'd get rid of the DPI switch button. Because once I set that once, I don't ever want to change it again. Why that isn't just something you set in a program, I don't understand. Because that's I don't care to cycle through sensitivity settings. Why would I do that? I just want to set it to what I want and then be done with it. I know there's some stuff where they'll have a button where if you press and hold, it'll lower the DPI or the sensitivity or whatever you want to call it. And that stuff's meant for when you scope in an FPS or something. But I don't have any need for that, And that's still different from what this does, because this just cycles through 4 or 5 presets. But what ends up always happening is that just one day I'll be going to use it and I'll just have to hit the button at some point, and so it'll, because I'm generally either, I forget if I have it set to the highest or the second highest setting, but inevitably after I hit it a couple times, I go to use my mouse and it barely moves. I'm like, what? Or the actual mouse cursor on the screen, that'll barely move, and that's not what I wanted. But I at least got to see that I have the eggs. Yeah, it's just that just annoys me more than it has ever helped me. I like having customizable sensitivity. That's good. Just I don't need a physical button on the mouse to do it. Thanks. And what bothers me, actually I would rather this for a mouse, is I bought actually 2 mice, because I bought another cheap mouse because I was going to set up another computer as a crypto mining rig. Not a serious one, but just with just old hardware that I had, because this was before the recent crypto crash, which is hilarious. But yeah, this one, it has a button about the same spot as the DPI switch, but what it does is it unlocks the mouse wheel, so it can just freely spin instead of cycling through the increments, I guess, or the notches, or whatever you want to call them. Or like there's the little bumps when you scroll the mouse wheel normally, but this has a button to just turn that off. And like I like that, because that, you know, could be helpful, especially if you want to just like press the button and just spin the mouse wheel and then just let it go. So that'd be a button that I'd be fine with. But anyways, yeah, so the keyboard is something I need to replace. Anyways, oh, I think I never actually got around to explaining why I stopped using the keyboard. I had like, I forget how I did this. I know I was drunk when it happened. But the, at least one of the like stands on the back of the keyboard that helps like tilt it towards you a little bit and make it more comfortable to use. At least one of those got broken, maybe both of them. And again, I don't think this was a Razer issue. I think this was a me being drunk issue. But yeah, so I used that for a while. And then there's a little while where I was living with other people, and I, being a dumbass, bought a, I think it was a Cherry MX Blue switches that I had. Because I think blue is tactile and clicky, whereas brown is just tactile. It doesn't like make the audible click. Or sorry, I don't think it was the cherry switches, because it was a Razer keyboard. So, and this was after the patent on those switches expired, but it was Razer's equivalent. But anyways, those were very clicky, which when you live by yourself, it's great. But when you like are sharing like an office room with another person, not great, because that's fucking annoying. That is very annoying. So I just stopped using that keyboard, and then I just haven't taken it back out of storage. But also, like, the thing is, this keyboard works fine. I just, like, I would like something a little bit newer. I don't know. I mean, the big thing is I want something with mechanical switches. I don't like the membrane switches. Like, what I really want is a brown, again, I think it's the brown switch, or something equivalent. Basically, again, the tactile but not clicky. So I just, you know, I need to feel that feedback, but I don't need to necessarily, I don't need to necessarily hear it, you know? Like, I don't like red switches. The ones where it's just linear, but you don't, like, feel the activation point. Like, I know the point of those is that you're just mashing the button. Like, it doesn't really matter, so you're just looking for, you know, the quickest possible response time on it. But, like, I don't like that, especially for typing. For typing, that just, it's not great. Like, I know membrane isn't real. Honestly, I might actually prefer a membrane for typing over a cherry red or an equivalent. I don't like the feel of it. Because just not having that positive feedback of, like, feeling the click in the key, it just makes me be like, just mentally there's a part of me that's like, did I hit the button, or... So that's the main reason why I want to get a new keyboard. But yeah, that, webcam eventually. I would say capture card eventually, but like, until there's a new Switch, it doesn't matter. Because I have the, Elgato HD60, might be called the HD60 Pro, I don't remember. It's the one that it goes into a PCI slot, instead of just being like an external device. And like, I would love to get the, like the AverMedia one, the like Live Gamer 4K or whatever. But also, I literally have no use for the Live Gamer 4K because, like, I'm not even utilizing the full, you know, the full Elgato. There we go. I don't know why I couldn't use my words there, but like, I stream in 1080p, but it's 1080-30, so like, I'm not even using the full Elgato yet, and it works well enough. I have some issues occasionally, like the audio desync. I don't know if that's OBS or it's Elgato. And sometimes when like I open up OBS, none of my video sources work, but I don't think that's anything to do with Elgato. I think that's OBS. I used to think it was Elgato, but then it's happened to me since I've started using the webcam too, where I'll basically, instead of like showing anything from the device, it's just black. Like, it's not even like the Elgato, like, no signal detected or whatever screen. It's just a black screen because it never actually, like, starts the video devices. So I'm pretty sure that's just OBS. But also, maybe a newer device, I might not have those issues. Because, again, this webcam's from 2015. The Elgato's actually from, like, 2014. Yeah, I've had that thing forever. But yeah, I also need, I need to do upgrades to my computer, because, like, I did find out, I don't know if maybe there's, I say find out, but I noticed in OBS there's no way for me to, when I'm converting the file, the recording file from FLV to MP4, there's no way for me to save to a different directory than when the source video is from, which is really weird and dumb, and I don't know why that's not a thing. So I need to figure out, like, setting up another SSD so that way I can have that just, like, save the video to it, and then, you know, when I'm converting the file type, I can load from an SSD instead of a mechanical drive. Because, like, the big issue that I have, right, or the reason why I want to get another SSD for that, or, like, set it up so it saves to one of my other SSDs, but then when I convert, it just goes straight to the hard drive, is, because I'm using a mechanical drive, when you're doing that file conversion, it's reading from that drive and writing to it at the same time, and so it slows down a lot. Especially on a long stream, because I think some of that data actually stays in the cache or the RAM or something. Because I've noticed, like, the first, like, 50% of a lot of videos will be, it'll like get through that really quickly, and it'll be basically just writing to the hard drive. But then it'll start also having to read from the hard drive, and then that's when it, like, really bogs down. And it depends on the video, too, or it depends on the stream, too, because, like, a shorter stream, it'll get through more of that before it slows down. A longer one, or one that has a lot more data, like Legends Arceus as opposed to, I tried to say compared and as opposed to at the same time. And, yeah, anyways. Now I forgot what I was gonna say. God damn it. But yeah, basically I want to do it for that reason, just to help speed up the re-encoding. Which, I mean, what I wanted to do was I wanted to just, like, save it to my my boot drive, really. My boot drive has plenty of space as, like, a temporary recording destination. And maybe I could do it like that still, too. But yeah, just, like, what I wanted to do was save to one device, re-encode it, and, you know, put the new version on to the mechanical drive, just, like, encode it to there, just because that would speed it up. Just, you know, not having to read and write at the same time is going to speed that up a lot. And then after I do that, I can transfer over the original FLV file to the mechanical drive as well, just for long-term storage. But, like, I can't do that, so I guess I can, like, you know, save to the SSD, re-encode to the SSD, and then move them both individually. Or even at the same time, but just, like, you know, after it's been converted. But I just... it doesn't work as well as what I wanted to do, and so that makes me sad. I'm trying to think, there's something else kind of needed to do PC-wise. I guess maybe that was it. I know I do want to consider upgrading to the new, the next-gen Ryzen CPUs, or AMD CPUs. The, like, 7000 series or whatever, I think is what it is. But those look like they're going to be a massive improvement, and, like, I actually have a use for that when I'm playing Minecraft. Which, speaking of, we'll be playing Minecraft tomorrow. But yeah, since I'm actually, like, having encoding issues with, you know, playing a game and rendering at the same time. So hopefully the new GPU or CPUs would be enough to help me there. Currently running a 3700X, which is, I mean, it's good, you know. It's a couple gens old, but, like, you know, CPUs, typically you can use them for a little bit longer than, I shouldn't even say use them, but, like, they don't get made obsolete as fast, you know? But just, like, since I am struggling, and there might be a new generation soon, and if we're lucky, hopefully, between, you know, crypto crashing, and just the entire economy is kind of crashing a bit, which means people aren't spending as much on non-essential stuff, which, you know, let's be honest, high-end computer hardware is, for most people, not essential. You know, building a gaming PC, not something you really need. It's something you want, it's not something you need. But in my case, since I'm using it for, like, actually, you know, making recordings and stuff, and it's like, well, I actually have a little bit of use for it. Anyways, the point is, hopefully, I'll be able to get that stuff at, like, near MSRP. But also, I need to figure out how expensive it's going to be. Because one thing about that is I would have to... it is a new motherboard, the new AMD CPUs. They are going to be on a new socket. So I think it's AM5. I don't think it's like AM4 Plus that they're calling it. I think it is just AM5. But also they're only going to have DDR5 support. They're not going to support DDR4 RAM. Which, one thing about that is DDR4 RAM, or 5 RAM rather, is very new. So, like, it's not going to be as good as if I were to wait a couple more years. But we'll see. But, like, that's the only thing that would suck about that, is having to buy a bunch of new hardware. Especially because the RAM's still going to be expensive as hell. So, I don't know. I'll have to, I'd have to think about that a little bit more. But if I could do it, I would. The other thing is, like, we don't have any actual reviews for the new hardware yet. And we won't for a while, because I don't think it launches until fall this year. Yeah, I mean, other than, like, that, right now my computer's fairly well set. I do need to, besides, like, I was thinking about adding another SSD, but I guess I really don't need to. It's just the setup isn't going to work out exactly how I want it to, but whatever. But, like, I might actually need to replace one of my hard drives pretty soon here, because I have a mechanical drive from December of 2012, I think. And that has a lot of, like, not really essential stuff, but it has a lot of, like, pictures or, like, really old recordings, stuff like that. Stuff that I'd be a little bit disappointed to lose. And it's not, you know, acting up or anything just yet, but it is, like, it's over a decade old and it's a mechanical drive. And actually might be Seagate, too. I know it's Seagate. Granted, though, I don't know how much of Seagate's reputation back then was kind of just nonsense. I think most of it probably was, actually. Let me make sure I still have one more, right? Okay. I wasn't sure if maybe I'd forgotten to count one. But yeah, I mean, like, it's just... I've gotten very lucky with this hard drive, but maybe I need to stop pushing my luck. Fortunately, it's not a drive I access too often, so it's not like it's being used as my boot drive. If it was, there would be no way it would have survived this long. But yeah, I mean, that thing's from, like, my original gaming PC that I built in 2012. Kind of. I built the original PC, and it had a whole 500 gigabytes of storage. Which I knew that, like, even then, that was, like, a little low. So, like, I knew that, though, because I knew that was something I could easily upgrade. And then, like, a month later, I bought the terabyte drive to have as, you know, a larger storage drive. And then I can't remember what else I upgraded later. Oh, I added more RAM almost immediately afterwards, too. I think when I built that one, I only had 8 gigs of RAM, which at the time was plenty. You know, that was basically, like, all you really need for gaming. But then... So the RAM that I originally bought, it was a Crucial Ballistics Sport, I think, or something like that. But it was super freaking cheap because it was on sale. Or something, you know, it had... Oh, wait, what am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Okay. Let's go ahead and get some more eggs going instead of just riding back and forth in a line without any reason. But yeah, so that stuff was, like, super cheap. And then, like, a month or two later, whenever it was that I went to go buy the hard drive as well, I saw that it was still cheap. I want to say I spent, like, $120 total on 16 gigs of RAM, when even at the time it would have been more like $200. Like, I remember it being pretty significantly discounted. And, like, that shit worked fucking perfectly fine for the entire life of that system. Granted, I feel like I just had decent luck in general with that system because, like, at least in its original build, I had a couple of problem parts at some point, but yeah, stuff like I had an AMD FX 4170, which was not a good CPU. Like, it wasn't necessarily bad, but, like, the previous generation of CPUs from AMD were better. Like, you know, it's kind of a problem. But, like, the FX 4170 was, like, the most... It, like, came out later, so it was kind of like a more refined version of their quad-core CPUs. And... even though it wasn't necessarily a good CPU, honestly, with my, because I also had a NVIDIA 660 Ti, honestly, for the games I was playing, those two worked perfectly fine together. I wasn't necessarily maxing out settings, but, like, I was getting really damn good looking gameplay. And, like, it, you know, one wasn't really bottlenecking the other, because I didn't really, you know, I wasn't really playing much that was too CPU heavy. And even for rendering videos, I mean, like, you know, with that, it doesn't necessarily matter how long it takes, because, you know, if you have to, you can just wait for it to render. You don't necessarily want to, like how I want to, you know, change my setup a little bit to make re-encoding stream recordings faster. But, like, I can wait perfectly fine. It's not like I'm dropping frames or anything doing that. Yeah, I don't know, that setup worked out pretty well for me. And then in 2015, there was a whole shit show with that, because I think I've talked about this before, but I was going to do a dual PC in one tower, and just the shit show that became. But yeah, I ended up upgrading to, like, in January of that year, I upgraded to a Intel 6700K, I think, which was their, it was a newer quad core, and it had hyper-threading and stuff like that, so it's, like, was definitely just a big step up from the AMD that I had before it. And that I had to upgrade to DDR4 RAM for. And so that was very early stuff, which was funny because then when I upgraded to the current system, I actually had to, even though it was still DDR4, it was so slow that this system didn't want to work with it. So I had to actually go get more RAM. Yeah, I did that. Still rocked the 660 Ti for a little bit, but then I noticed it was actually like something wasn't right with it. Like it would randomly just spike to 100% utilization for no apparent reason. And so I bought a AMD RX 480, which that thing was also, you know, that thing was pretty good. It wasn't as as perfect of a match as the 660 Ti and the FX 4170 were, because like the 480 was absolutely underpowered in comparison to the 6700K, but like it was working fine for me, you know, 1080p, 60 FPS. I could render videos or whatever I wanted to do a little bit faster. But yeah, then last year, kind of like last year, like the end of 2020, so like beginning of 2021, end of 2020. Anyways, my buddy finally he bought other stuff before he got his 3080. But yeah, he when the 3080s got announced, or the whole 3000 series for GPUs, he wanted to get one of those, and obviously they sold out like crazy, and so he couldn't do that. But so he ended up buying some other stuff, like he bought a new CPU cooler and stuff like that. And the short version is the AMD stock cooler. To install that, you have to remove the plastic mounting brackets that are on most of the AMD motherboards. Let me just verify. Yes. So when I first built that system for him, you know, I removed those, put them, you know, in a box or something, and then didn't worry about it. And then when he bought his all-in-one water cooler setup system, it was a Corsair or something or other. It's like a single rad. But so that uses the original plastic mounting hardware, and we could not find the old ones. So we ended up actually, basically part of his paying me was we went back out to Best Buy and we bought a whole ass new motherboard just for the mounting brackets. And then I took the was it the old? Yeah, no, it was an old board because we didn't buy, because he had a whatever the top chipset is for AMD. He had that, and we just bought the B series. So yeah, I took that. I also bought the current CPU as well. So I bought those, and he paid for the motherboard. But yeah, so that's how I ended up with my current system, because kind of got his old stuff, except not really. It was actually brand new stuff, but we had to buy it to take stuff off of it for his system. And then funnily enough, so when I got did I buy my GPU cooler? No, I did not buy my GPU, or not my GPU, my CPU cooler at the same time. I was just using the stock one. But then that was another fucking bizarre thing. So I guess AMD had changed their setup, or maybe the cooler for mine was different, because his was a Ryzen 5 3500, I think, and I bought the 3700. And yeah, it's fuck, what the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, I hate it when that happens. Hey, there we go. But yeah, so I guess the CPU cooler, either because it was the 8-core instead of the quad-core, maybe that's why I had a different cooler, or just because they had decided to change it for some reason. But yeah, so I got home with that stuff, because well, the good news is I know I won't need a, you know, I won't need those brackets because his cooler didn't need them. Got my stuff home and found out that, oh, hey, actually it does need those. So I had to go and fucking buy like a cheap aftermarket backplate from Amazon, which is fine because I think it's actually better than the stock one. Because the stock one is like, there's the clips on the top side that like the cooler clips to, and then those are screwed to the piece that goes on the back side. But I think the stock ones are just two small pieces of plastic, one for each like mounting clip, whereas a lot of the aftermarket ones are like a full kind of like back plate, so it kind of gives it a little bit more rigidity. It doesn't really matter though because it's a water cooling loop, so it's not like a big ass air cooler or whatever, or even like the AMD cooler is, you know, it's a stock cooler. Those things are kind of pointless. I mean, they're fine for like getting your system up and running, but like they're very loud and they're not necessarily good. So it wasn't terribly long after that I got my my big cooler, which is like, again, it's some Corsair thing, but it's a dual rad cooler, which is more than good enough. I'm gonna need to check. I don't know if I counted that one. I did not count that one. Glad I checked. Yeah, like I could upgrade from this 2070, because also, so like when he bought his 3080, because he didn't get it when we did like the first big update to his PC. Or like when he upgraded, like, I think, yeah, because he upgraded his CPU cooler. He added a NVMe SSD, I think. Maybe there was something else. But yeah, then he did eventually get his 3080, and he paid way too much for it. And so when he got that, I got his 2070, which that was nice. And then actually my RAM, so going back to having to buy RAM for this thing, I always wanted to do 32 gigabytes of RAM for this. I kind of wanted to do it with my old Intel system as well, but it just, I never got around to it, and it never really mattered anyways. But I had a feeling that when I upgraded, that I was going to end up needing more. Which, to be fair, I don't know if I really have needed more, but, you know, at least, you know, I have the room. But yeah, so I wanted to do 32 gigs, but then when I had the issues with the RAM not working, the old RAM not working, I had to, you know, just to try and get the system up and running, I had to basically say fuck it and go to Best Buy and just buy whatever they had for DDR4. Which they didn't have 32 gig kits, so I just had to buy the 16 gig. Which is like, fine, whatever, because you know, it still worked fine. I just wanted a little bit more headroom in the future. But then later on, so that same dude that I, you know, again, got the 2070 from, got, you know, some other stuff from him. He at one point managed to knock over a cup of water or something into his computer and fried the fucking CPU. Or not the CPU, but the motherboard. The CPU might be bad too. I don't know. I actually have both of those now. Because, like, he didn't have a use for them. And I figured, maybe I can find a use for an old CPU. Assuming it works, right? But yeah, I don't know how he didn't fry his GPU. Because, like, the water would have landed right on that. So I don't know how he managed that. But yeah, so anyways, when he did that, he upgraded finally to a Ryzen 7. I think a 5700X or something like that. So whatever the next generation from the one that I got is. But yeah, so with that, he also was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna buy new RAM. Which, I don't know why he did that, because, like, we could have very easily tested his RAM to make sure it was okay. But, like, he was like, nope, I don't care. I'm just gonna buy new stuff. I guess since he was buying the CPU and the motherboard anyways, it wasn't that much of a difference. Even though it's still like another $200. But anyways, point is I got his old RAM, so that's how I upgraded to 32 gigs. Oh, that was the other thing. Yeah, so when we upgraded his CPU cooler and stuff, he had a 16 gigs, so two 8 gig sticks. And then he bought another 16 gigs to add onto it to make it 32 gigs. So actually, on top of the 32 gigs that I have in my system, I also have like a two just like extra 16 or 2 extra 8 gig sticks. I guess if mine ever fail, I'll be set. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if I upgrade to the Ryzen 7000 series stuff. It's probably going to be too expensive for me to really be able to justify. But man, would I like to. Again, just because of the having coding issues when I'm playing a game and also recording it. Although that does remind me, I also need to go into Minecraft before I start streaming tomorrow and see if there's any other setting that I can also turn back down. Because I think there is like a simulation distance setting that like, there's the render distance that's, you know, dictates how far away you can view blocks from. But then there's also like a simulation distance, which I think is like how far away you can be before like entities kind of get despawned, or like, you know, saved into storage or whatever, and you know, just like stuff like arrows or mobs or stuff like that. I don't think that stuff really stays loaded in past a certain distance, and that distance is a lot closer than the render distance. So I think I can turn that down. I'll have to check though. Because if I can, I mean, that's going to make a pretty big difference as well. And hopefully, like, make it so my audio stops crackling. It's like part of why I haven't been uploading my VoDs is like, I don't know. I haven't been able to make myself deal with it. Also, I need to turn up this fan, jeez. It's like kind of working okay, but it's just too damn hot. But yeah, like, honestly, between, you know, upgrading headphones, keyboard, and getting a microphone arm, honestly, there's not much more that I would need for my system, or for my setup right now. Maybe a new webcam. I can see the fucking flickering in it. That stuff drives me so nuts. It's just so weird to me that, like, this is, like, gets blurred out, but also, like, not consistently, so it just, like, starts kind of, like, you know, just, like, popping in and out. I know why it is, because it's, you know, NVIDIA Broadcast thinks it's part of the background, not like part of the person. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like a cheap webcam would be better than my current one. Like even like a $40 or $50 webcam would probably be better at this point. But, like, that's kind of low priority. Same with, like, you know, the capture card. I think capture card is, like, not even low priority. It's just pointless right now. Until I'm playing something else on, like, I can't even say another console, because I probably won't play anything that isn't PC or Switch ever. or stream it anyways. So like, until there's a Switch model that like, or like Pokemon games, I guess specifically, that are 1080 60, and even then it doesn't matter because it's, you know, it's the HD 60 Pro already works just fine. Occasional issues, but like nothing that's been really, you know, raking. Generally, any issue I do have is fixed either by I'm trying to think how I want to say it. Either by just like toggling something in OBS on or off, or like switching the scene, or just like resetting OBS. Like doing any of that kind of just fixes that stuff anyways. And I have more issues with OBS than I do with really anything else that I use for streaming, so. Although I will say my PC in general has been kind of flaky recently. Like on startup, it's been exceptionally slow, it feels like. Like, I don't remember it being like taking like 15 seconds to open a web page. And after a little bit, it, you know, it's fine. Although there's been a couple times where it just like it never, like it'll be like 10 minutes later and it's not getting better. I just have to restart the computer. So I don't know what the hell is causing that. I don't know what I installed that would possibly be doing that. Because there was an issue that I was having, but I discovered it's because Xbox, the like Xbox app likes to, or not even likes to, it was set to auto update, even though the app was set to not open. So I don't know how anyone at Microsoft thinks that makes any sense. Like, yes, auto update if I open the app. Don't just like it won't even like show a process for it or anything. It would just like, that was the most fucking bizarre thing. Like, it wouldn't say like, oh yeah, the Xbox app is using data. I just had like, after fucking digging through Task Manager, and then actually like there was some service host thing or whatever that was, you know, using a shit ton of data, because that was the issue I was having was like everything I was trying to do online was super laggy, or it's just like, you know, taking forever to load web pages and stuff like that. Kind of separate from my like intermittent issue right now. But it was like, I'm like trying to figure out what it is. I'm Googling what this fucking thing is. And then finally one of them mentioned that like one of the other pages you can kind of see what it is. And I popped open that page and immediately right at the top it was Xbox using a shit ton of data. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why is it using data when I've not launched the app at all? That should never, ever, ever, ever be a thing. Like, I specifically have the Xbox app set to not open at launch, specifically for that reason. That, like, I don't mind auto-updating. I very much mind when an app decides to turn on without my permission, and doesn't even, like, show that it's on. That was infuriating. And I've got that, like, turned off now, but, like, that still should not have been a thing. Also, in the process of doing that, I managed to uninstall Forza Horizon 5, which wasn't really an issue because that was like the big thing, was there was some big update for that. But like, I hadn't played Forza Horizon 5 in like 3 months at that point. But now that it's uninstalled, it's like, okay, well, I'm never playing that again then. I'm not gonna fucking wait for that to download again. That was a big ass game. That's like 100 gigs, I think, at least. It's probably a lot more now, too. Well, no, it probably is a lot more, because I know sometimes, like, Just because you have an update of like 20 gigs for a game, that doesn't mean that the file size for the game is going up 20 gigs. Because it could be a lot of data that's getting replaced or modified. But in this case, in the case of Forza, I think most of that is them adding new car models. So, but yeah. So, anyways, fucking Microsoft. Also, until I'm like absolutely made to do so, I'm not upgrading to Windows 11. That's just all the fucking awful shit that I keep hearing about that. I'm good. It doesn't even like have all the features of Windows 10 yet. Hey, what's up, Jed? So like, yeah, I'm not too interested in updating to that. To be fair, I took my sweet dear time deciding to upgrade to Windows 10 as well. I think when the update came out, or when 10 came out, because I was still running Windows 7 on both my laptop and my gaming PC. I updated to Windows 10 on my laptop just to like get used to it, but there was like no way in hell I was going to use it for my my gaming PC yet, and it wasn't until like years later that I updated that. But frankly, until the Xbox app like stops working on Windows 10, I'm probably just never gonna update it. Or update Windows, that is. Oh, and that reminds me of another thing that's been pissing me off lately. So I must have done this, but I don't know when the fuck I did this. But why the fuck do I need to have an NVIDIA account in order to update my fucking graphics drivers? What the fuck, NVIDIA? What the fuck were you thinking? Like, I think I could probably go to the NVIDIA website and just download them. But fucking... yeah, I saw there was a driver update, and so I was like, okay, let me do that. And then it popped up with a fucking login screen. I was like, fuck you. I'm not doing that shit. I need to see if I can just get rid of GeForce Experience, because I don't give a fuck about GeForce Experience. I only cared about it for doing shadow play, but like... the only reason why I even cared about it for shadow play was because Forza Horizon 4, I assume 5 as well, does not play nice at all with OBS. And like, Microsoft knows it doesn't play well, and they have a fucking thing. Or not even Microsoft, but like the developers. It's like, yeah, we have some shit to like prevent cheating, and so it blocks OBS. It's like, okay, well, you know it's a problem, and you know what OBS is, so why is it, like, why does it not have a fucking exception? Especially when they have exceptions for shadow play and AMD's equivalent. And so it's like, why, what? Yeah, anyways. So I need to see if I can still run NVIDIA Broadcast if I just, like, get rid of the rest of that shit. Because NVIDIA Broadcast is its own separate thing. And if I can do that, I might just do that and just manually update drivers, because, again, I must have actually created... I assume that when I got this 2070, I was probably also frustrated at the time, but just said fuck it and updated. Or not updated, but downloaded the... do I have eggs? Yes, okay. But yeah, downloaded the GeForce Experience, just like, fine, fuck it, I'll do it. Although I also assumed that it would just not... I wouldn't have to log in again. Because it's not like I went and logged it out. So yeah, I don't know. Though I do wonder, thinking about it now, I don't remember when I got this graphics card last year. It might have been around this time, so I wonder if it's just like once a year NVIDIA kicks you off. Either way, I don't care. I'm not gonna deal with that shit. I should not have to fucking create an online account to update video drivers. No thanks. Bye-bye. I just remembered that actually. So when I started my computer today, it was kind of doing the thing that I had the issue with Xbox earlier. And so, because it was like, something was downloading. I don't know what the hell it was. It could have just been like some sort of like the anti-malware stuff was updating. But like I immediately opened up the Xbox app because it's like, oh, it's probably doing this shit again. It probably decided to just turn on auto updates, even though I turned them off. That's I can like the Nvidia thing is annoying. The fact that the Xbox app, even when you have it, it's like set to do not launch at startup, it still does shit in the background even if you do that, and it won't tell you that it's active in the background. In fact, it tries to like hide itself. Like even if you go in and like start killing processes, it'll bring the processes back. And again, it doesn't show as a process or anything. You have to like figure out what process it's like trying to disguise itself as. I mean, by definition, it's malware. It's, that should not ever be happening. But yeah. Anyways, this has been a very bitchy stream. It's just been like 2 hours of me bitching about everything. But yeah, that just bugs me so much. Granted, there's so much shit in Windows that does similar shit that I shouldn't really be surprised. Actually, let me see. I don't think it's reinstalled any of the bullshit apps. Well, I don't see, like, fucking, Candy Crush on here anywhere, so it's probably fine. But yeah, the, like, installing fucking games and shit on your computer when you update, shit like that, it surprises me Microsoft hasn't gotten, like, the shit fined out of them in the EU or something with all the shit they've been doing. Because they've already been slapped around at least once because of, antitrust and monopoly stuff. And it seems like they really need it to happen again. Especially because, again, from everything I hear, Windows 11 is just all of that stuff turned to 11, so... And there's no way in hell at least currently, there's no way in hell I'm going to switch to Linux. Certainly not Mac, but that's also because I'm not going to fucking go spend $2,000 on a fucking PC that I can build for like $800. And then just deal with Apple's bullshit. Like, no thanks, I'm good. Especially since I don't have anything else from the Apple ecosystem anyways. Like, if I had an iPhone or something, it might make more sense, but... Any idea when I want to trade again? Probably I'll be able to, maybe tomorrow if I get up earlier than usual, but probably not. But, Tuesday and Wednesday we can, since I have those days off from work. Because usually when I work, it's like, it's in the afternoon, and then when I get off work, either it's so late that I just don't care to do shit, or it's, like, late enough that, like, I pretty much have to immediately hop into the stream. Did I get 5? No, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, well, the good thing is I was already planning on this being the last 5 for the night anyways, but I definitely need to do that. Might be busy tomorrow, so Tuesday and Wednesday work. Awesome. Yeah, I'll try and get it set up either tonight or tomorrow night where I'll have like an actual box set up with all the things that I can trade to you. Which is basically going to be, you know, spare shinies of mine or like exclusive Pokemon from Shield, stuff like that. Alright. Last 5 of the night. Maybe we'll get lucky and there will be a shiny. There won't be, but maybe we will. Oh yeah, something I'm wondering about with these berries is when the clock ticks over to midnight, if those will actually grow or not. Or if like if they'll grow while I'm still in the game, or if I'll have to leave the game and come back. Or maybe I'll just have to leave the area. I don't care enough to bother testing this, but because by the, like, even if I was going to, I would forget, and then I would remember at, like, 12:05, and then it's like, well, that's not exactly helpful. If I load it in the game afterwards, then that doesn't exactly help me. Oh, and I need to look up how close I am with the Spirit Tomb as well. Not that it really matters, because, like, I already have the shiny. Actually, the shiny alpha. Thank you again for that, Jed. But it'd be cool to get it in, like, I guess not really the original game, but the remake of the original game for it. Also, I'm gonna have to actually go through these Phione and check for, make sure that none of them are shiny. I don't think anything from before today would be, but I definitely feel like there's a section in there where I wasn't really paying attention. I don't think I missed it, because again, there is like a second animation for the stars like appearing or whatever, but with my smooth brain, anything is possible. I didn't even think about the fact, how long is this playlist? 1 hour and 21 minutes. So I guess it's only looped once. Oh yeah, it's actually just barely been looping. But yeah, I had like this playlist, or this, not even playlist, but this album is so like chill that it just, like I didn't even think about the fact that I needed to, at some point change to a different album or something, which I guess means that I didn't need to. Okay, we have eggs. News occasionally. Okay, well, we're getting there. Just wish we would get there faster. Yeah, I cannot wait to get back into Sword and Shield breeding, because it's going to be nice when it's so much faster. But yeah, Jed, I was talking about this before you were here, but I'm going to be pretty much just focusing on trying to get as many of the new Pokemon that were added in Sword and Shield as shinies as I can before Gen 9 comes out. I certainly want to get all of the Galarian forms, like Ponyta and Zigzagoon. But then also, like, the actual, just, like, wholly new Pokemon. Is the Sword story long? It's not too bad. Or it's not too long. It's plenty bad. It's not a good story. It's like, okay, early on, but then like at the end it just completely goes off the rails. And not in like a fun, goofy way or anything like that. But I mean, it's not too long. I'd say probably like casually playing like 20 hours or less. I guess you could look at my the playlist for when I played through it on stream. It was bad as soon as you knew the characters are talking like they're English. True. But yeah, I did play through the whole thing. Probably, yeah, about like 9 months ago. I was going to say about a year. And I was thinking, oh, it wasn't that long. And I was thinking about it. It's like, oh, no, actually, it has kind of been that long. But yeah, like 9 months ago or so, when I was like first kind of getting back into streaming. So that should give you an idea of how long it's going to take. Even though I kind of got cucked at the end because, not with the base game, but with the Crown Tundra DLC. Because I wanted to actually, like, play through the story of that and then hop into, the, whatchamacallit, the, like, Galar Star tournament, which is basically, it's basically the same thing as the, some of the post-game stuff for the base game, where like the equivalent of like repeating the Elite Four is what I would call it, but instead this time you get to pick a partner and it's multi-battles. It's not that interesting, which is why I never did it, but I was like, oh yeah, you know what, I'll do it this time since I'm doing, you know, the playthrough on stream. But then also like I wanted to hunt the Regis, you know, shiny hunt them. The thing is, though, in order to unlock the, like, Galar Star stuff, you have to complete all of the, like, storylines, including the Reggie storylines. Or not storylines, but, like, you have to get all the Regis, basically. Which is just, like, I kind of get it, but also, like, god damn it. like, it kind of fucks me, because I wanted to shiny hunt. So I still just never did it. Because it's not that interesting. I did, like, do the first round of it, on my main sword save, but, like, it was just like, yeah, it's just more battling. I don't care. Alright. So... should be everything for tonight. Let's put these away. You know, just a few Phione. The game's not bad. You're at the part where you go into the big open area. Ah, the wild area, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's... the biggest issue is, there's really, like, zero exploration to do. There is actually a little bit, if you go back to, like, the previous areas after you get the, surf, basically. But it's... the big issue is towards the end of the story again. It's just, like, I don't want to say too much, but, like, it gets... there's some really stupid decisions that start getting made, and they make, like... just no sense. Anyways. But yeah, I mean, like, I really enjoyed playing through Sword and Shield. I mean, I have... let's see here... 480 hours plus, you know, so, like, over 600 hours played, and that's just on this profile, because if we go to the other one as well, oh, it doesn't show your, it doesn't show you anything, okay. That's really stupid that it doesn't show you, like, the game time, at least. Anyways, the point is, yeah, I loved Sword. It does have you know, some issues, but also, like, does anyone really actually care about the story in Pokemon? Not really, as long as it's not getting in the way, and it doesn't really get into the way too bad in Sword and Shield. So yeah, I'm sure you'll enjoy the game. Pokemon has a story, yeah, exactly. But yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna wrap up there. Got another 50 Phione done. I started a little bit late, otherwise I would do some Registeel. But yeah, we're getting up towards 40%, so we're bound to start seeing it soon. But also, we're only halfway to odds, so we'll see what happens, though. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna play Minecraft. I will just keep working on that. I was happy to pretty much finish up the like first floor of the house, and I've got like my stuff set up to be a little bit more sustainable, so like having trees so that way I can have coal and stuff. But yeah, so Minecraft on Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday we'll do some hunting in Legends Arceus, and then whichever of those that I don't stream on, we'll just, well, so yeah, one of Tuesday and Wednesday I'll stream, the other I'll take off. Thursday I definitely won't stream, and then Friday will be, if we don't get this tomorrow, then Friday will just be more of this. But yeah, thanks everyone who watched. I appreciate it as always, and yeah, I will see you guys next time.